Hello and welcome back, or welcome if you're new. I'm Amanda. I'm a naturopath and a physical therapist, and I've specialized in Pilates for both fitness and for rehabilitation for the past 2 decades. Today, I have an intermediate mat workout for you. So this is what I have in store for you. We're gonna spend a couple minutes warming up, and we're gonna kind of release some of the tension that you might be holding in your low back, the sacrum area, the lumbar spine, through the hips, and then kind of the sides, the lower sides. So a lot of us hold tension in those areas, and sometimes we're so used to holding tension there, we don't even realize that we have tension there until we go to release it. So we're gonna start with a warm up to kind of check in and see how those areas are doing, or release some tension. Then we're gonna hit the core. We're gonna hit the front, the sides, and the back, and we'll finish with a really lovely stretch. So, get your mat. You don't need any equipment. You really don't need anything. No equipment, no props. You just need a mat and yourself, maybe water if you think you might get thirsty, and I will meet you on the mat. Okay, so we're gonna start seated on the mat. We'll go ahead and bring the feet about hip distance apart, plant the feet into the mat. Bring your hands behind your thighs and just start by helping yourself, assist yourself up as tall as you possibly can. Go ahead and draw your belly button in towards your spine, and then we're going to begin to roll down to the mat. And we're rolling through the spine just to come down safely. Use your hands if you need them. If you don't need them, go ahead and release and just settle into the mat. So if you need to readjust, like I need to readjust into the center of my mat, go ahead and do so. And just take about 10 seconds here just to feel the areas of your body that are coming down and making pressure into the mat. Just settle in the couple of breaths, inhaling through the nose, exhale through the nose or mouth. Just take a moment to get centered here emotionally, mentally, and physically. So we're going to begin with some small pelvic rocks. And as you breathe in, I want you to tip your pubic bone down towards your feet and let your back open away from the mat. But do this to a range that's really comfortable and feels good in your body. As you breathe out, we'll imprint the small of the back into the mat, scoop and hollow out through the stomach, but we are taking care not to lift up into a bridge. We're gonna stay down on the mat. So just begin to flow with your breath. You're gonna inhale to tip the pubic bone down and forward. Exhale to flatten the small of the back. So just take it as far as you comfortably can in each direction, staying down on the mat. And if you're able to, go ahead and keep that tummy pulled in through the entire range. It is harder as you arch away, and through the entire breath. So make sure that you're breathing through this. Another thing to watch out for, as you roll towards your head and flatten the back, make sure the chin does not pop up. When we have some tension and tightness down the back of the body, that chin might try to pop up towards the sky, and we're going to keep it drawn down and in. Let's just try 2 more here. Again, just start to release through that low back, through the sacrum. It should almost be like a little massage. Last one here, inhaling and exhaling. And then let's settle into our Pilates neutral, where we're flat on top. We have a natural curve underneath. From here, we're going to take our pelvis and start to tilt it from side to side. So taking an inhale, as you exhale, bring your left hip down towards your left foot. The right hip is going to slide up towards your right shoulder, and just pause there. So we're getting a lengthening down the left side of the body here. We'll take an inhale back into center. And then as you exhale, draw that right hip down towards the right foot. The left hip is going to rise up towards the left shoulder. Just pause here. Feel a lengthening down through the right side of the body. And now we'll flow with the breath. So inhaling to center. Exhale, drop that left hip. Inhale to center. Exhale, drop the right hip. As you do this, we are no longer moving into an anterior or posterior pelvic tilt. We are not further arching or flattening the back. We're staying in our neutral. We're now moving in a different plane of motion, lengthening through the side body. Let's try just a few more here. One more to each side. Make sure that you're even and have completed the same number of repetitions on each side. Good. Now, last little warm-up piece we're going to do to release tension here. I want you to pretend like your pelvis is a basin, okay? It's like a big bowl right here, if you can picture that. And your basin is filled halfway with water. So we're going to start to tip forward like we would spill and pour our water out to our feet, so our anterior pelvic tilt, but we don't let the water leave the bowl, okay? So it's not your full max end range, and we're gonna begin to circle all the way around. So you'll start to circle back towards your head. Again, you're not coming into that full imprinted position like we started with, because you're keeping the water inside the basin, just starting to move it around the edges, making sure you cover every little bit of surface around your bowl and the other direction. Again, just breathe naturally through this. If you need more than one breath per circle, that is totally fine. But just keep that tummy drawn down and in. We have one more here. Just circling it out, make it feel really, really nice, make it all pain-free, and then settle back into neutral so all the water in your basin becomes nice and still and steady. Good job. So now we're gonna drop down into a reclined butterfly pose. I want the soles of the feet to come together and just let the knees drop heavy towards the ground. Again, if this is painful, if you don't have a lot of range here, you're welcome to put a blanket or a bolster or a yoga block under each side to support you if you need that. Otherwise, just let them float freely, let gravity start to pull them down and in, come back into neutral, tighten the tummy. And now to help release the low back, I think this feels amazing. I love this little trick, so we're gonna try it together. You take your hands with the thumbs pointing up to the sky, right on the top of the thighs, so I'm near my hip crease, and then what I'm gonna do is apply pressure and push my legs down away from my head. So I'm pushing my thighs toward my feet, try not to hold your breath, and you get this lovely distraction, like attraction through the low spine. Relax and release and just settle in. We're gonna try that 2 more times. Go ahead and press away when you're ready and make it feel really, really good in your body. It just helps to release tension. It's so healthy for all of the joints of your spine. Relax and release. And one more. When we do that, we literally create more physical space between the vertebrae. It's so fantastic if you are someone that maybe has a little bit of a compressed disc or a herniated disc, nerve impingement. Relax and release. And now, go ahead with a tight tummy, pull the legs together from the inner thighs. We're gonna walk the feet out to the edges of your mat and let the knees drop together. So we're coming into internal rotation here. They're just resting. If your knees don't touch, that's fine, but they're heading toward one another. And now we're gonna take the left knee and send it down towards the right foot as the right knee opens. And we're coming into a little bit of a stretch. So you might get this in the hip and the rotators, or it could come down across the top of the hip and down into the quadricep, the top of the thigh. Just hold and breathe. Again, just releasing some tension here through the hips. To come back up to center, we're not gonna push with the legs. I want you to use the left side of the belly. So we start to wrap around through the abdominals and inhale to pull and lift the legs up. And then with control, we will drop with control to the other side. So now that right knee is reaching towards the left foot, and it's almost like the knee is trying to leave your hip. You're getting as much length down the front of that right side as you possibly can. Arms can just relax wherever it's comfortable for you. And then again, to release, we're gonna pull from this right side of the body. So feel this from deep within your core. Inhale back up, and let's flow with the breath. So we exhale over into your stretch. Inhale, pull from the opposite side of the core. We're gonna get the oblique muscles here. We're gonna keep that belly button pulled into the spine to get the transverse abdominis. And hopefully we are getting some stretching and releasing some tension The whole mid and lower body here should start to feel a little bit more free and open than when we began class. That's our goal. Good, good, good. Let's try one more. Drop it down. Pull and lift it up. Excellent. Go ahead and just recenter your body. Come back onto your mat with your feet in line with your hip bones. We're going to make that butterfly shape again where the soles of the feet are together, but this time in the air. So go ahead and bring them together. And then what I want you to do is let the heels separate, point the toes, and let just the toes touch. So maintaining a really good neutral spine here, no movement of the pelvis. We will inhale and touch our butterfly toes down to the mat with the knees nice and wide. And then exhale, lift back up. Inhale to touch down. Exhale, scoop and lift up. So again, we do not want the pelvis moving into an anterior or posterior pelvic tilt. It stays in your beautiful neutral, your natural alignment. Good, let's just try a couple more of these. Start to feel some opening through those inner thighs, through the hips, and some work in those deep abdominals. Last one, exhale to lift up. Now, let the knees come together and let the feet separate into internal rotation at the hips. Same thing, we're gonna inhale down so the feet are touching wide, but the knees stay together. So I don't have a lot of range on this, you might be able to see that. This is definitely a tighter direction for me. If I lift up much further, I'm going to flatten my back, and I don't want that. I want to stay nice and neutral. So just honor your range. One way will probably be easier for you than the other. Last one, and now we're gonna go back and forth. So we butterfly and inhale down, exhale, pull up from the tummy and reverse. Knees together, toes apart, inhale down, exhale up, and just back and forth between the two. So we alternate between that external rotation at the hips and internal rotation. All the while, the pelvis is nice and steady and still. Keep going. You should start to feel maybe a little bit of heat, a little bit of warming up through those hips and through the stomach. That's ideal, that's what we want. Okay, last one, into internal rotation. Lift it up, hug the knees in, rock back and forth, and just kind of roll out the spine a little bit. Make that feel nice. And we are moving on to the 100. Which is our first official Pilates mat exercise here to finish our warm-up. So the 100 can be done from your tabletop position. If you take the toes and slide them away from you a couple of inches, you'll feel more work through the belly. And then for greater challenge, you can extend the legs out. So it's your choice, and you can start in either position and then move if you need to throughout it. So I will start in my tabletop for a few, and then I'll extend out so you can see both postures. We're going to raise the chin to chest from the upper abdominals, maintain neutral here, do not flatten your back. And as we pump the arms vigorously, we will be breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in, and out. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in, and out. Keep going, you're doing good. This is number 5. And out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Extend the legs if you need more challenge. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can lower if you need more. And out, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in. And out. We're gonna try one more full breath here. In, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax, hug the knees nice and wide so they open towards your shoulders. Release that low spine and just breathe. Good job. That's a tough one. Okay, we're gonna move on into leg circles, single leg circles. So what I'm gonna have you do is just plant your left leg into the mat, okay, with the knee bent. We're gonna take this right leg and stretch it in parallel up to the ceiling. If the leg is not completely straight, that is okay. If you're able to get it straight, that's okay too. With your neutral, I want you to grab either behind the thigh or behind the calf and start to hug the leg towards you until you get a nice hamstring stretch. Please do not grab right behind your knee joint. We don't want to put pressure on it. And let's go ahead and point the toes. Draw the chin down and in, relax the shoulders. And then let's go ahead and flex the foot, dorsiflex. So pull the toes back towards your calf. And one more time, point the foot. And now we're going to add a little bit of turnout. So we're coming into external rotation and pulling the leg in towards you from here. Again, you can be behind the thigh, you can be behind the calf, you can reach for the ankle if you're able to. And then with that turnout, go ahead and flex the foot. And then we're gonna point one more time. So this is our level 1 position. If you would like to make this more challenging for the core, then you're gonna go ahead and stretch out the left leg and line your heel up with your nose. Staying turned out in neutral, we will inhale to cross the body, drawing a circle on the ceiling, and exhale to complete. So we inhale and exhale. A small circle is easier than a larger circle. Our goal is to keep the pelvis completely still and reverse directions. Inhale, open, exhale, up and around. 2 more, please. All right, as we complete here, do not just collapse and drop your leg. We're gonna make our transition and exercise as well. So reach out as long and strong as you can, and then start to lower the leg from your stomach. So reach it like you're trying to touch the wall in front of you, or like you're sliding maybe a quarter from the ceiling all the way down that wall. Touch that wall in front, all the way down, and relax. Go ahead and bend the right knee, pull the left one into the chest, stretch it up in parallel. We're gonna start with a hamstring stretch. So again, you can place the hands behind the thigh, behind the calf, whatever feels good to you. Let's start with a pointed foot in parallel and just breathe here. We're inhaling through the nose as we let the ribs expand to the sides and we fill up the back into the mat. We're exhaling and drawing the ribs down into center like a nice little hourglass shape. Go ahead and pull the toes back towards your shin, dorsiflex. Breathe. And then rolling through the foot, let's point once more and add that turnout, so that external rotation, and continue to draw the leg in towards you, keeping the back of the neck long, relax the face, and then pulling the toes back, dorsiflex, hold and breathe. And now we're gonna complete our circles on this side. So let's point the foot. You have the option to keep the right leg as is or stretch it long. We're gonna cross the body with an inhale, exhale up and around. Inhale and exhale. Last one, and switch directions. Inhale and open, exhale up and around. You got it. Keep reaching for the sky. Use that quadricep. One more time, and now stretch. Make every muscle work as you start to lower that leg. Like you're reaching it so far away from you, all of the muscles start to shake. Make that work, hold it stable through your core, all the way down. Excellent. Okay, we're gonna come into single straight leg stretch, which is great that we just stretched out our hamstrings because we're gonna need it for this. So the leg's gonna come to the sky. We'll turn it out. Again, you have the option to be behind the thigh or the calf, but please not behind your knee joint. We're going to draw the upper body up from the upper abdominals, and then this lower leg is going to lift to an angle that's challenging for you, but if you need to bend and stretch out rather than lifting straight up, please do what's comfortable for your body and protect your back. We will inhale and pulse the leg in twice. Reach those legs long like we just practiced as you switch on your exhale. Inhale and exhale. Neck is soft. Your gaze is directed towards your belly button, which is scooping and hollowing into the back. The low back is flat into the mat on this exercise. And if you can't get the legs straight, just do them with a softly bent knee. That's okay. We're gonna do one more each way. Nice strong legs, let them scissor and reach. And relax down, relax the head, neck, and shoulders. You can kind of release and shake out the head a little bit. And we're gonna move right into double straight leg stretch. So now both legs will come up with a small V in the feet. We're gonna stack the palm of one hand right on top of the other and place it behind your head comfortably. Elbows stay wide, okay? We're not gonna flap and start pulling on the neck. They're gonna stay wide. We're again gonna draw the upper body up, using this from the upper abdominals and keeping the neck soft and maintaining neutral this time. So we inhale to lower to a place that we can control, whether that's 2 inches, 2 feet, or 2 inches above the floor. Exhale back up. So we are lowering and lifting our legs from the stomach. Squeeze those inner thighs together. Keep the V shape in the feet. So again, we have just a little bit of external rotation from the hips. And last 2 times, stretch it out and pull it up. 1 more. Keep that neutral position. Tummy tight. Hug the knees in. Rock out the spine. In fact, if you want to take a hand on each knee and maybe draw like little circles so you can imprint and release the spine, make it feel really, really nice. Okay, we're gonna finish up our shortened stomach series with the crisscross. So again, we're gonna have the palms stacking one on top of the other with the elbows nice and wide. We're going to have the right leg into the chest in parallel as the left leg stretches on an angle that's challenging. So if you're higher, it's a little bit easier. We're gonna draw from the upper abdominals, and then I want you to go ahead and twist your left shoulder towards that right hip. Again, not the elbow crunching in. We will inhale back to center, both legs come into a tabletop, and exhale, twist, and crunch through the sides. Nice and slow, please. Inhale and exhale. I don't want you to use momentum or to hurry through this. I want you to use the strength and power of your muscles. Inhale through center. Exhale, twist, stretch that straight leg across the room. Keep the elbows nice and wide. We have 4 more, please. You can do it. I know this is a tough one. This one really helps to get into that waistline, and it helps to get rid of love handles. Inhale through center. Exhale, twist. Last time. Almost there. Squeeze it and relax and release. Now, taking the hands behind the thighs, you can even crisscross the ankles if that feels good. We're gonna start to rock and roll back up. So this isn't necessarily a Pilates exercise. It's kind of like rolling like a ball, but it just feels really good in the back. Come all the way up. But now we are gonna do a Pilates mat exercise, open leg rocker. So for open leg rocker, your thumbs will come down to the ground and you're gonna grab the insides of the ankles. And it's almost like our butterfly shape, not your biggest butterfly shape ever, but you're gonna have your toes together, heels apart, and you're gonna round out the spine. Draw those abdominals in. And then I want you to try to hover those toes right above the ground and draw deep into the deep, deep belly muscles to hold you here. You should feel your core. We're gonna test our balance by starting to extend the right leg. It does not matter if it goes straight. Just take it to where you can. Keep that nice long C curve in the spine. And then lower without touching the floor. And take the left leg up. And hold. Pull the belly button in like you're trying to button it to your spine. And lower down. Now, we're gonna do both. So you can do both together or one at a time. And we have the legs a little bit wider than shoulder distance, but not a big, huge straddle. If this is a lot of work, you're welcome to stay just like this. Otherwise, we're gonna inhale back to the mid to upper back, not on the neck. Exhale up and try to nail that balance. This is a tricky one. It's okay if you don't get that balance or you don't get it every time. It's okay. Find that tummy. Just adjust as needed. Maybe have a little sense of humor with this one. One more time, please, and we're gonna hold our balance. Hold it. Hold it, squeeze the legs together, release into a teaser, hold here, hold it, squeeze those legs together, melt down through the spine, don't let the legs move, melt it down, take your time, relax, and release. Such a good job, that's really tough. Okay, we're gonna come into those obliques some more, we're gonna come sideline. Sideline but propped up. So, we'll come on to the forearm, and approximately bring the shoulder going to draw the knees up into the air and do a nice little side crunch here. Inhale, stretch the legs out in parallel. For more challenge, they can just hover above the ground. You don't have to actually rest them down, but you're welcome to if you need to. So we exhale to squeeze and crunch, and inhale to release. If this is uncomfortable, sometimes people get pain underneath their hip, the hip that you're lying on. You can add a little padding there, thicker mat, little blanket, if you need to. We're gonna try 5 more. To make this harder, you can rock it out with a straight leg. It'll increase your challenge. We've got a longer lever arm with the straight legs. 3 more. Maybe just try one. See if you can do it. Last one. Good. Come up, relax, other side. Take a moment here to set up. Again, we want to approximately bring that shoulder over the elbow, but make it as comfortable for you as you can. Other hand behind the head with the elbow wide. Exhale, maybe start with bent legs. You can stay with bent legs the whole time. You can take it out to straight legs if you'd like to try that. We have 6 more, please. Exhale, squeeze it in. Inhale out. Again, I should do some straight leg ones because I did them on the other side. If you did them on the first side, maybe try them on this side as well. I think we might be doing an extra one. We're gonna try one more. And relax onto the belly for swimming. So we're gonna come onto the stomach. We'll bring the legs out directly from your hips, okay? And a little bit of a turn out. We're gonna take the arms overhead, but we are not stretching so far that our shoulders start to creep up to the ears. We're gonna keep those shoulder blades down, rest the forehead down onto the mat. Zip up the belly, like you're trying to lift it off of the mat. It's okay if it doesn't actually lift, but try. And then as you breathe in, we're going to raise up the right arm, the left leg, and then the head. Hold here. We are not cranking on the mat. You should only be seeing out in front of you a small amount. We are lifting the right arm from the right shoulder blade and the left leg from your left cheek. And then exhale, settle down. And on the other side, left arm up, right leg, just hold. So even though you have energy reaching out your fingertips and your toes, you are not losing that core connection to your rib cage. Exhale down. And now inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, switching each time, please. Lifting again from the mid-back and from your tush. Last one. And now we float everything up and begin to flutter like our 100. We breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 more. Last one. And take your exhale and settle down. Bring your hands back to your shoulders. Press up and back into a nice child's pose. Toes together. The wider you take the knees, some people get more of a release through the low back. So you can kind of play with the distance of separation between the legs and see what feels best for you for this workout. And just settle in and breathe. Again, just draw some awareness to the areas of the body that are pressing into the mat and making contact. Can still draw the belly up and in gently, inhaling through the nose, exhale through the nose or the mouth. Let's go ahead and walk the hands to one side, sit back heavy in that opposite hip bone. Sit bone and hip and settle down. Get a little bit of a side stretch here, breathe into it. Let your breath start to settle, let your heart rate start to settle. Walk back through center, stretch those arms away, and again, walk to the side, and then sit back heavy into that opposite tush, cheek, hip, and breathe. Bring the arms back to center. Settle down for 2 more breaths. In through the nose, out through nose or mouth. Take a moment to appreciate all that your body just did for you. It worked hard. Go ahead and come up. Be proud of yourself for for showing up and working out. Thank you so much for joining me today. It was my pleasure to have you along with me. If you enjoyed this workout and you'd like notifications of more of future workouts, then please subscribe to my channel, hit the bell next to the subscribe button, and then you'll receive notification every time I post a new routine. I hope to see you again real soon. Take care. Bye-bye. I'm going to drop down into, in yoga, this is a bound angle pose, a reclined bound angle pose, or maybe it's cowboy pose. Now that I say that, I'm not sure.